Hello, everybody. I'm here with the very stylish member of Parliament, Mike Kelloway.
Well,
So, Mike,
thank
you've been
you.
making a lot of announcements.
Absolutely. Through the Canada Community Revitalization Fund. So that's actually a brand new fund. It sort of has a certain lifespan for this year and part of next that focuses on making investments money for community groups, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's external or internal to a community group, really just helping to contribute to the great work that groups throughout our riding are doing, especially now during COVID. But after we get out of COVID, community groups have been essential ever since time immemorial in Cape Breton and northeastern Nova Scotia. So it was a big focus of mine, Becky, to be ready be ready for this. And so I worked with a lot of community groups, and a lot of community groups have applied for this new fund that I helped create along with some other MPs. And I'm excited about the announcements that we're making. So we've made several announcemements this week to different groups throughout the riding, and we're going to be working our way from the CBRM up to Richmond County, up to Inverness County, to Guysborough, and to parts of Antigonish County. And I'm excited about it. And I wanted to make sure that our riding was first at the gate, and we are. We're first at the gate in
Obviously.
terms. Yeah,
And,
and we are.
Mike, I've been watching some of these announcements and so many happy faces and appreciative faces. So, thank you
Yeah.
so much for you and all the others that did all this hard work.
It's listen, it's my pleasure. I always said this, that everything starts with community, and it's the community that has really powered through during this very stressful time and continues to do so right now. And so we need to invest in community associations. We need to
I
invest
totally,
in community groups, and
totally
that's
agree with you.
yeah.
And I must say that I know that you've always been committed. I know that. And
Thank you.
in Richmond County, I'm sure we'll appreciate anything that you can do for us. And I know that there are some things in the works, and I'll let you take care of that a little bit.
Well,
But
I'll tell you, yeah, there are a few things in the works for Richmond County, and again, leadership in Richmond County. I mean, it's growing. I see so many familiar faces at work to improve the community, and I see new faces pitching in, whether it is looking at um, community collaborative clinics, whether it's looking at new trail systems, whether it's looking at recreational facilities outside, whether it's looking at new businesses too. There is a change afoot in our riding. There is a change afoot in Richmond County. And it also speaks to, I think, leadership. I'm impressed with how we're working together. So I'll take an example. Trevor Boudreau and I are working exceptionally well together. He's progressive conservative, I'm liberal. And so I would say to that, so what?
that's
You
right.
know what? We need to work together. Trevor gets that. I get that. It just happens to be that I think he's equally as committed to the community. And that's my prerequisite. Are you interested in helping the community? I don't care who you are. I don't care where you live. Are you interested in helping your community? Then I want to partner with you. Same goes for the warden and council of Richmond County. We're at a time where leadership matters a lot. And I'm impressed with Amanda Mumbercat and the entire council that is looking at changing how we do things for the betterment, not just changing them for the sake of changing them. And again, myself and the warden and the councilors and the deputy warden of Richmond County, I'm going to be meeting with them very soon, probably next week, I think. So I'll be doing a tour, a virtual tour of all the municipalities, so the wardens and the mayors and the chiefs and councils, to look at the coming year and what are we looking at in terms of priorities. That's what we've done every year since I've been MP, and this past year has been an interesting one. We've had a provincial election, we've had a federal election, and we've had COVID, and then we had the emergence of the Omicron virus. But nothing has changed the fact that I have so much optimism for the riding. Last year we made about $15 million, $15 million investment, Becky, into small craft harbors, and many of those announcements in Richmond County. Why did we do that? Because small craft harbors and the ocean sector, the fishery sector, that is a monumental, humongous industry for my riding, for our region. And we need to invest in infrastructure so we can do more and do things better and more efficient and more effective. And I was really pleased to be in Richmond County to make those announcements. And I look at our commitment, and we talked about this on several of our interviews leading up to the election and during the election. And I heard loud and clear from seniors on the importance of an increase in OAS and GIS for 65 to 74. As you recall, last year we did that for 75 and up. So that made its way to our party platform. And I can tell you, when people say, and it's easy to be a cynic today in today's world, that your voice doesn't matter. Well, I can tell you, your voice does matter. I heard loud and clear from seniors all over the riding to say, Mike, can we get 65 to 74? Can we get an increase in GIS and OAS? And I know other MPs heard the same thing. So your collective voice and my voice in caucus, along with other MPs in their communities in caucus, has made a difference. It was in the platform, and that's a focus of mine this year. OAS, GIS, and consequently, to just touch base on that, that I have a youth council that advises me on youth issues, and also that they do work in community. That's going exceptionally well. We're going to do the same thing for seniors. We're going to have a seniors council, and we're going to be putting out in our mailouts, Becky, are you interested in serving on a seniors council? It is not a liberal seniors council. It's a seniors council that's connected to my office, that provides advice, recommendations, suggestions, and also a little bit of community work attached to it, because I'm big on that. And that's going to go out probably in the next couple of weeks. And if you're interested, you see it, send it back to me that you're interested, because I want this to be well represented. I just don't want this to be a CVRM thing. I want this to be a Cape Breton-Canso thing.
And that's what it should be.
Yeah. And that's been our hallmark from day one with our mobile offices. And we were able to do our mobile office in part this year before December and November came with Omicron. And I had a really interesting comment yesterday on that. And it was from an individual in Heatherton. So we went to Heatherton and set up in the school. And they said, Mike, this is the first time that they could recall that an office set up federally in Heatherton and was meeting with Heatherton just like a regular business day. Now, we've done this in Arishat, and we've done this in Lordways. We've done it in St. Peter's. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to change things that we can change in the riding to better engage, listen to, and be part of the communities. And I've been in Richmond County so much that I feel like, it's a second home. And in fact, we have a bungalow in Richmond County, so maybe in some ways it is a second home. But that's what you do. In my mind, that's why we increased our vote. We increased our vote in this last federal election by 8 percentage points. We won it by almost 4,600 votes. That was a good showing.
Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Do you think that, have you noticed, I myself have noticed the youth getting more involved, the younger people getting more involved. And I'm so pleased about that. And I'm so happy that you have a youth council, but the seniors council will be just as important.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have a lot of seniors here who are very active, and we're a resilient bunch, let's face it. And if there are ways ahead, these seniors are definitely going to have some great input. So
100%.
A huge council.
Yeah, Becky, listen, what I've been able to get from the youth council has been a learning experience for me. Number one, the young people are interested not just in policies that affect young people, but policies that affect everybody. And they also want to contribute back to the community. So, and again, with the Youth Council, we have representation from all municipalities. So that's number one. Number two, on the Seniors Council. If I'm not mistaken, now other MPs may have it, but I couldn't identify if they do or not. But I think we're the first. That said, to your point, seniors have experience, perspective, work ethic, resiliency, and I want that to be a part of my advocacy in Ottawa. So I'm one of 338. And I always believe this, and I say this to my staff. I want to have as much resources, much intel, much community intelligence, ideas when I'm in Ottawa that come locally. And a lot of times people forget where they come from. And for me, that's not a problem because it was drained in my mind by my mom and dad early on, is that listen to the people. Listen to people that care, that are invested, that are committed, that have passion. And we have a lot of those in our riding. And so that's why the Seniors Council is going to be formed. So it is going to be formed around providing insight and advice on a whole host of topics, but it's also going to be a council that looks at giving back in some form. So for the youth, they have a couple of projects that they're working on. And they don't have to be large, Becky, to have an impact in community. They just need to be of, they need to have heart, perspective, and an intended outcome. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the Seniors Council, adding to our Youth Council, adding to our mobile offices that are put on pause for the moment, but they'll emerge this year, no doubt about it. And again, I'm very optimistic. We have a budget coming up. We're still, investing in the fight against COVID because we believe the fight against COVID and the economy go hand in hand. So we've, made major investments in extending supports for individual workers again this year, for businesses again this year, that were voted against by two parties and supported by the Bloc Québécois. And that's important to us. What's important to us as a government is what's important to Canadians. And Canadians said loud and clear, we need to still be in the fight against COVID, and there's still issues with lockdowns in certain parts of the country, many, in fact, and certain businesses are struggling again. We need to be there for them. The tourism sector has been exceptionally hit hard by COVID. We have a new fund that was passed just before the holidays that once again was voted against by the Conservatives and NDP, but voted in favor by the Bloc. We can't let up on having the backs of Canadians. We can't give up, and we're not going to give up. And I think for me, it is absolutely a full court press every day, whether it is funding community groups, whether it is ensuring that I have a strong voice on the platform that's focused on health, because it's important to rural communities. It's important around making more investments in broadband, in the fisheries, in youth development. So there's lots what we're doing. One of the things that I'll be focusing on really hard this year is around affordable and accessible housing. It's not, some people think this is just an urban issue. It's a rural issue too, but it's also a rural opportunity. And we have several funds within our housing portfolio that we're looking at working with the municipalities on, and private developers on, and community groups. So I'm as excited as I've ever been to be an MP. I am so committed because so many people are so committed. And I'm just looking forward to this year. Listen, let's be frank, we're all getting tired. We're all tired. We're tired of COVID-19, the Delta variant, the Omicron variant. But let's keep a couple of things in mind. A lot of people are vaccinated. and that diminishes the impact. A lot more people are getting the boosters, and that will play a role. And then, how we move forward will be based on science and common sense, but we will get out of this year.
Well,
We
I
will
think
get
we've
out.
learned things though, Mike.
We have.
Think new opportunities have popped up as a result of COVID and the lockdowns, new ways of doing business. I think it's
100%.
fantastic. To me, I have a very positive attitude about it. I think that all kinds of new things have come out of it. New, out of the box thinking. I love it. I love it.
I do too. I mean, look at the number of people. Look at the number of, if I just base it on calls and emails to my office alone, of people who, in many cases, have no family in Cape Breton or Northeastern Nova Scotia, but want to relocate in Ayrshire, want to relocate in Lordways, or Gabaroos, or Heatherton. There's a lot of families, a lot of people that now can work remotely. And that's why we need to ensure we have, strong broadband and cell phone coverage, because people now, in my opinion, have the ability to work from anywhere they would like in many cases. And but they also want to have a high quality of life. And we're seeing a bit of a trend, I would say, in terms of rural renaissance. Now, does that mean that things are going to change overnight? No. But I mean, I think of some entrepreneurs that are in Richmond County today that weren't in Richmond County 2 years ago.
That's for sure.
Right?
Yes.
So I'm super excited. I know it's tiring, folks. We all have the stories of things that we wish we didn't have to do, or things that have prohibited us from seeing, such as loved ones, and that's tough. But we're going to get through it, and we just need to kind of push through a little longer. So if you haven't received your vaccines, please do so. If you have an opportunity to get your booster, please do so. And also too, think of somebody out there that you don't know, that you could help. And what I mean by that is, wearing your mask, social distancing. I know you've heard it before. I know it's a broken record, but we need to stop ranting and start doing and helping each other. If you go into any bookstore or any online bookstore, there are literally thousands upon thousands of books on self-leadership and self-care, which is important. But there are very few books on serving others. And I think that's what we need to think about this year and going past COVID. And our riding and the municipality of Richmond and all the other municipalities, we do best. History shows this. Recent history shows this. When we serve others.
Yes, and it takes less energy to be positive than it does to be negative. So
and it just feels good, Becky.
Absolutely.
It just feels better, right? It just feels better.
It absolutely does. You're absolutely right. Now, with all that being said, Mike, you know that Telile will always give you a platform to help you with any project that you might be working on.
Yes.
And so, at any time, if you have a message to deliver to the people of Cape Breton-Canso, we're right here for you. Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Becky. And Telile was one of those first community / media / information type of groups that I went to when I decided to do this, when I decided to run. And what I like about Telile, and I mean this sincerely, so I watch it. Like, I remember when I first met you, I went, hey, I watch Telile, I have access to it. And you said, you don't. I said, no, I do. I watch the bingo and all of that. I'm watching bingo and I don't even have cards. What does that say? I have no idea. But thanks to you and Nick and others, and I'll tell you why. We live in a day and age where a lot of people get their information from Facebook and other social media outlets that, quite frankly, in many cases are opinion and not fact, that are not informed as opposed to informed. And I think we need, in fact, I know we need more community information / media outlets in our country, in our region, in our local communities. Why? Because they can tell stories. They can talk about facts. They can bring people on that are in the trenches in our local communities with messages that are based in science, fact, and the human heart.
That's right.
And that's what we need more of, quite frankly.
That's right.
So thank you for your leadership, Becky.
Anything, all I can ever say about Telile is that Richmond County and Breton-Canso actually is really fortunate to have a station like Telile. And I mean, there are radio stations. We're all fortunate to have all of these small community outlets, you know. And I myself am committed to making it the best it can be. And
I would say you are, and then
I'm,
some.
I'm doing my best.
You're doing great.
But in the meantime, I have to tell you that it's always a pleasure to see you.
Likewise.
You look lovely in purple.
Oh, thank you.
You should have a purple day every, you know.
Well, the next time we meet, we'll work on Purple Day.
We'll do color coordination, Mike. That's what we'll do.
It could be Donnie and Marie show or something to that effect.
Only
now
if
I'm
you're gonna
showing my
sing.
age.
Only if you're going to sing, Mike.
You're a little bit country. I'm a little bit rock and roll.
Well, I don't know. It might be the opposite way around.
Listen, you're a musician. I can't carry a tune to the store, so that's going to be one hell of a show.
Oh well, that's all right. You can handle a tambourine. That's okay. You're good.
Absolutely, tambourine.
And I'll allow it. So that's even better. Anyway, it was lovely to see you, Mike.
Likewise.
Anytime you want to give us a shout, you know where we're at.
Thank you, Becky.
And we're looking forward to the announcements about Richmond County as well.
Absolutely, and we'll make sure that Telile is quite aware of them as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.